Let's go. Another win for the Chicago Bears in the preseason. This is Rico and Mac, and this is post game truth about Chicago sports. Talking post game Bears 27-3 win. Caleb Williams gets to start at home, Rico, in front of the home fans. I was there. Your boy was there representing WRMN 1410. And you know what? To see it up close and live, 100 level seat tickets, special for the blessed indeed. Enjoyable. Let's get into it. I'm not going to even go into a hyperbole like I like to, or that early soliloquy. Let's just get into it. What did you see out there, Rico?
Oh man, first let me give you your shots out, man. Big time, baby. That's what happens when you make big bucks. You start getting to the stadium over here.
I don't even know what
But
you're talking about. I don't know what
I'm
you're
talking
talking
about
about.
you get to the stadium.
Hey, I'm just a bro.
You start making big bucks.
I'm just a broke country boy like you, man. I'm just a broke country boy. Come on now.
Oh man, but look, going back to it, man, talking about it, look, obviously it's Caleb Williams, right? And his ability
Mm.
to just escape. I think that is why you see why the Chicago Bears were like, well, Justin Fields, we love you, but we've got to see you at another place, because he looked great with how he was able to extend plays. And you have to love how he was able to be smart in using his legs. He didn't put himself in dangerous situations to get himself hurt. That is something that, yeah, you generally have to teach quarterbacks who have been in the league for a couple seasons to do that. So for him to come in and do that early was great. How about that 45-yard throw, I think, to Rome Odunze? It was right on point, man. He was spectacular. And so, look, there is a lot of buzz around Caleb Williams, and I don't know what it is, but magically, Mac, it seems like all of a sudden the Chicago Bears can put up points. Where has that been? It's like, did we just need to get Caleb Williams down to Chicago? Is that what it is? But, initially that's my thoughts. I know we'll talk a little bit more about other stuff, but yeah, Caleb Williams was spectacular again.
Caleb, Caleb, Caleb. And then shots out to Tyson Bagent. And
Yeah.
here's the deal. We talked about this on our live radio segment about Bagent's emergence, about the importance of having a backup quarterback, and the beauty of the fact that the Chicago Bears finally have a competent quarterback room. And I think people really need to pay attention to this, because this is special. This is something the Bears have not ever had.
Mhm.
First, second, and third string quarterbacks that can all come in and be competitive and help to contribute to wins rather than be detrimental to the team.
Yeah.
Caleb is the real deal. And somebody asked me about him a couple days ago. I was talking with a fan, and we were chopping it up. I think he caught me actually at a dinner.
Mhm.
He asked me, he said, what do you feel about Caleb? And this was after the last game, and I told him, I said, poise. I love the calmness. I go, regardless of the stats, the fact that he had a pocket presence as a rookie. That's when people talk generational talent, you take that with a grain of salt sometimes,
Mhm.
Rico. Okay? Sometimes. But there are times like LeBron James. There are times like a Bo Jackson, a Wayne
Mhm.
Gretzky. There
Mhm.
are times where guys really do live up to the hype.
You can,
And maybe
yeah.
Caleb's just that.
You know what it is too with Caleb, and you're talking about generational. And I was thinking about this too before we went on air, but I just think about like quarterbacks like Michael Vick. Remember Vince Young? Even to Watson that plays for Cleveland. Man,
Mhm.
there were certain things that they do in the pocket that it's just like I haven't seen that before. And it's something about Caleb Williams. And I was looking at Patrick Mahomes in preseason game number 2 today
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Oh, yeah.
He had a behind the back pass to
Ooh,
Kelsey.
that little flip, right?
Yeah, that
Mm,
was sweet, right? But
mm.
it's something about what they were talking about and why they have a comparison of Caleb Williams and Patrick Mahomes. It's just that Patrick Mahomes, not only can he, kind of keep plays alive and stuff like that, it's those kind of amazing passes, the behind the backs, the shovel, stuff like that. And I'm not sure if Caleb Williams is going to get to that level, but I can tell you this, the way that he extends plays and that pocket presence, it might be legendary. It might be something that probably 10, 15 years from now will be like, we haven't seen anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking back like Fran Tarkington, stuff like that. Like it's just those type of players where they're back in those highlight reels where you check them out years later and you go, man, how did he do that? That is Caleb Williams because the way he was able to really seriously extend plays like any other quarterback in the league generally, they would have been down. They would have thrown an interception. They would have
Done
thrown
to him.
a bad ball. Like
Done
he's
to him.
putting those balls right on the money. And he almost threw a dime in the back of the end zone, too, to Adunze in the back of the end zone, but his feet were out too, as well. Like that was an
Mm-hmm.
amazing pass too. That didn't even count. But yeah, when you say generational talent, man, like believe the hype about Caleb Williams, man. I cannot wait till week
Believe the
1
hype.
when he's going against the
Believe
starters. And I think the
the
only knock that
hype.
I have for them is just
Mm-hmm.
I wish he could just punch it into the end zone. I think that's the only thing, just finishing drives at this point. They get the field
Finishing
goals
drive.
and got a touchdown
Finishing
today.
drives. That's it.
Finishing drives. I think that's the
Yep.
only thing.
Rico, you know, so I've been, a diehard for a long time.
Yeah.
And, I've watched a lot of unique players. When it comes to the quarterback position, that's one of the hardest positions to predict. I mean, because someone can just look legendary in college, and
Hmm.
then get to the NFL and they look mortal.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when I hear that term, generational talent,
Hmm.
I automatically it makes my eyes raise because it's like, is that term thrown out there loosely,
Hmm.
or is that term thrown out there correctly? And that's where we try to, you know, get the understanding, the breaking point. And I saw Peyton Manning
Hmm.
in college.
Yeah.
I literally watched him. I'm old enough, I'm not trying to date myself. I'm just being real.
I did
I
too. I
I
watched it
didn't
too.
I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't get a chance to see John Elway in
Yeah.
college,
Yeah.
but or Joe Montana, but I did get to see Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
and everybody said that this kid was gonna be the one. Like I remember that, like his freshman year at Tennessee,
Yeah.
everybody was already saying this kid was gonna be the one. I wholeheartedly remember the hype and everything around it. And there was something about him when you just saw the way he played.
Yeah.
It was different. In college, it was different. And when all of the scouts and all of the pundits said, like, yes, this guy, he is a surefire Hall of Fame pick.
Yeah.
There was nobody that everybody yes, right? And the same when it came down to Andrew Luck.
Hmm.
And everybody was correct. All the scouts were correct. Generational talent. Once and only quarterbacks like this only come along here and there that could just do the things where they win the game. You don't win the game with them. You win the game sometimes because of them. And there's only a few special quarterbacks that have ever been able to do, and those are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And Caleb has the potential. to be one of those quarterbacks, and we're seeing it, and it's rare. It's because we have not ever seen it. We have not ever seen it here in Chicago. We've seen good quarterback play.
Yeah.
We've not ever seen potential Hall of Fame
Hmm.
quarterback play. This is all new territory for us, brother. This is
Yeah,
all new territory.
you said it, man. Like, I think that seriously, this is like a Chicago Bears quarterback that I think a lot of fans are like, dude, he's going to be here for like the next 12 to 10 years. Like,
And we're
I'm
in
serious. Like,
shock.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but I don't even know if
Nope.
too many Bears fans have been like, oh, yeah, my man, he going to be here for the next 10 to 12 years. They were talking about during the telecast, I think the only rookie quarterback to start out of the gate for the Bears, the last one was Cal Orton, if I'm not mistaken. I could be
And,
wrong.
and
Maybe we'll look that
well,
back.
and that might even been an injury because that happened. I'm
Oh,
not even sure. Like, yeah, we got to go back and really research on that one. But I know Cal Orton did play as a rookie.
yeah, I think he
Um,
started. I think they were saying that he started, but I got to
a-
look back.
but the defense, and it was a situation. See, here's the thing. Even if you go back to that situation,
Yeah,
Cal Orton was set up for success
yeah,
way more than people want to give credit. The defense was strong. The running game was excellent. There was enough playmakers at the wide receiver positions that the Bears were able to utilize a young kid that maybe didn't have the best of talent, but enough talent.
right.
And that's the thing why this is so different. So when Peyton Manning came to the Colts were bad.
Yep.
When Andrew Luck came to the Colts were bad. The last when John Elway went to Denver, Denver wasn't that good. They had to get better once he got there.
Yeah.
This is the first time that quote unquote generational quarterback has walked into a situation of a team that honestly, if it had not have been for some coaching, missed coaching, the Bears could have probably have made the playoffs last year. Yeah, Justin's quarterback play could have been better. But the way people try to talk about it is that they try to make it sound like the Bears were a team that was like 1-16. And it's like the they had won 7 games of a 17-game season. Like, we have to really think about that. They were 2 wins away from finishing the season above 900. And if it wasn't for a horrible call in Denver, horrible call, which was on the coach, had nothing to do with the quarterback. Horrible decision for the coach, which I felt cost that game. And then you fast forward, and I know, and I can't think of the exact game. I'd have to put my finger on it, but I think it was maybe when they played Buffalo in the regular season. It was another game that coaching cost them. So now we upgrade at quarterback. This team, Rico, Rico, I'm not trying to, okay, because it is preseason play. But what I've seen, and I'm telling you, when we talk about this generational quarterback thing and
Hmm.
what the history has shown, and the fact that this kid is walking into a team that is not bare bones. This team had 7 wins last year.
Hmm.
Okay. And they have a top 10 elite defense. Do you understand they've had a turnover in almost every preseason game? People
Oh,
aren't
that
even
defense.
paying attention to that. People
Oh,
aren't even paying attention to that. This defense is taking the ball away from people.
yeah, yeah, and you talk about the defense. The defense today, man, 10 blitzes against the Bengals, like literally showing no mercy against their backups
No
today.
mercy.
I mean, look,
No mercy.
Coward Gordon, Josh Blackwell, Stewart. These guys had great games today. They produced two
Elijah Hicks.
interceptions for the Bears
Elijah
defense.
Hicks.
So yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were all over the field. Like the Bears defense was flying all over the field today. And I mean, they've been
Ooh.
flying all over the field defensively really since the start of practice. Okay, because again, we highlighted it last week that there are times, believe it or not, where Caleb Williams and the offense loses during the week. We're just not there because that defense is on fire.
Bro,
Like,
they're
so let me
cocky.
tell you something.
They're
The defense
cocky.
again,
They're cocky,
yeah, it's
and they're showing it.
it's the better unit on the football team. Nobody's going to believe us there, but that is
It
the
is.
better unit. Even
Yep.
though they've upgraded the offense, the better unit for the Bears is the defense. I'm going to say that
Yes.
again. It's the Bears defense that people are
Yes.
going to be like, yo, they were that good? Yeah, you just didn't know they were that good because offensively they were anemic last year. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
going to really start to see that, especially since they're going to be on prime time. I'm sure of it.
Ooh, that defense gonna be on display, baby. I mean,
Mhm.
if you really look at it, when we break it down just from in terms of who is top players on the team, DJ Moore is definitely one of the top players on the team on the offensive side of the ball. But then the next couple players are defensive players. Jalen Johnson, Montez Sweat, Jaquan Brisker, and Kyler Gordon might have just come to another level, man. I don't know. He just might have raised himself to another level. And, then I would say Roma Doomsday or maybe Keelan Allen, but I guess I got to give more credit to Keelan. It's the preseason, he's been so we'll see when the regular season kick in more with him. But I would probably put Keenan Allen, and then maybe I'd throw Rome in there as in terms of the most talented players on this team. Notice I haven't even gotten to Caleb yet because he's a rookie. But make no mistake about it, this kid's showing me stuff where he's elevating very fast in terms of the most talented players on this roster. So, I'm not showing him disrespect. I'm just not gonna jump the gun because these other guys I've seen live action. Now, is it fair for me to put Roma Doomsday up there, even though he's a rookie like Caleb? I think so because I just feel like rookie wide receivers can adjust to the NFL way faster than a rookie quarterback.
Well, it's like Jamar Chase, right? I mean, and you have to take it with a grain of salt because I was just
Hmm.
looking at the Giants today, and
Mm.
Malik Neighbors really didn't do anything in week
He's a
one.
little nicked up. He's a little nicked up too. Let's not forget that he's a little nicked up.
And you know what? There's so much pressure on him to
Hmm.
become a 1,000-yard receiver, something that they haven't had since Odell Beckham Jr. But anyway, I
Mm.
got a chance to watch him in game two, and he was making some great back shoulder catches. I mean, he made some great adjustments. And I've done an evaluation about the Giants on my podcast, and I do
Hmm.
not have the Giants being very good. And it also showed today with Daniel Jones throwing some terrible
Oh
picks.
yeah, yeah,
Full,
yeah.
full disclosure. But anyway, going back to the point of wide receivers and adjusting, your wide receivers now can come into the league and they can make up for some bad quarterback play. And this is
Hmm.
why I think this is a great thing for Caleb Williams because he really can go ahead and throw it to his playmakers and they're going to bail him out. And going back to your talking about just generational talent and Hall of Famer, you talked about it with Peyton Manning. And the one thing that Peyton Manning did at the University of Tennessee was he was able to read. That translates when it got to the NFL. He has the ability to know exactly what defense you're in before you even know. He knows the adjustments and everything like that. Even Ray Lewis said that.
Yep.
With Caleb Williams, you're seeing exactly what he did at USC. And a lot of people are saying how that's not going to work because it's the college game. In 2 weeks, you see that is translating to the NFL. So you can imagine what's going to
Hmm.
happen now when they get in the trenches in week one,
Hmm.
2, 3, and they have to get those games that they have to get. That was what was able to get USC over the top because he's able to
Hmm.
make those plays like that. That's why he's a special player. That's why he could be in the Hall of Fame. That's why we could see him on NFL films 10, 15 years from now, barring
Yes,
that he doesn't get
sir.
hit or anything like that.
Yes, sir.
Because of that, it's something we haven't seen before. So it's that translatable skill. Same thing with CJ Stroud. The stuff that he did for the Texans last season, we had already seen it with Ohio State. We just didn't know if that translated from the collegiate game. And you're seeing that with Caleb Williams.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And the thing about it, Rico, is that, like I said earlier,
Hmm.
these guys came into horrible situations. This
Yeah.
kid is coming into us infrastructure where Ryan Poles clearly took the time to study
Yeah.
the failures of first round draft picks, understanding what he had in front of him and making sure that, hey, let me give this kid every bit of ammunition he's going to need to get his career started. And, I heard a pundit say that if Caleb Williams had a came out when Trevor Lawrence came out, Caleb Williams would have been number one. And when I heard that statement, that told me so much about how people felt about this kid at quarterback. Like,
Hmm.
we're literally comparing him. Like, I'm not even worried about Patrick Mahomes right now in terms of what he can live up to be.
Yeah.
We're comparing him to John Elway, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck.
Throw Dan
These
Marino in
were,
there too, and Dan.
but
I think Dan
what well,
Marino right there
but
too.
Dan, I think Dan was in that class with John Elway, if I'm right or
He
right.
was, but he came right
Right.
out. What is the
He
second
ca-
year he made
but
it to the Super
but
Bowl?
but but yeah, but you know what I mean. Like in that draft,
Yeah.
John was the jewel.
Oh
John
yeah.
was the
Yeah.
jewel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
John
Yeah. Yeah.
John John was the guy that everybody said
Sure.
he is going to be the one, and he
Yeah.
lived up to it. He lived up to the hype, and you know what? And then same with Peyton, and same with Andrew Luck, where the scouts said you can't miss on this guy.
Yeah.
And now the scouts have said that about Caleb Williams. And like I said, I felt that was very powerful when somebody said that if he had came out when Trevor Lawrence had came out,
Yeah.
he would have been the number one pick. Like, he's that special. And understand, Trevor Lawrence will probably be a Pro Bowl quarterback. Like the guy's not a bust. He's a pretty good quarterback, and he's actually trending up.
Yeah.
So if they're telling you that they would have picked this kid over him,
Yeah.
that's telling you something. This kid is different, Rico. This
Oh,
might be something. This might be something we've never seen from a rookie quarterback. Okay.
yeah. I feel it, man. I look. I'm thinking about when RG3 first came in the league with Washington. Okay, they
Mhm.
knew they had something special. Okay, he went down his next year, but trust me,
But he was
those,
special. He
yeah,
was
Washington,
special.
they had not had anything like that in quite some time until they got him. Now, when you talk about Caleb Williams and how special he is, he's already to that point. And I think that the difference between him and Mahomes, obviously, is Mahomes has won Super Bowls. I get that. But they were talking about, too, during the preseason game with Kansas City today. And they're talking about Patrick Mahomes has a winning record being down 10 points or more when it
That's
came down
crazy.
to the postseason or even in the season. When you start getting Caleb Williams in those situations, which I think he is going to get there, and I think he's going to be able to make those type of plays and come back because you can't get him down. So if you can't get him down and sack
Uh-oh.
him, and you're just doing the scramble drill back there, I
You're
promise
in
you, I
trouble.
don't care how good you are as a corner. When you get into a scramble drill and you're
Mhm.
guarding some of the faster players out there and some of the faster people I think in the world,
Mhm.
and you're trying to cover like that, they eventually are going to open up. And he has that arm strength to get it to them like on the money. You're going to start to see him be able to come back from places that it's like there's no way that was not even possible. And that's only when you become a generational talent like Caleb
Yep.
Williams. And look, it's like next year's basketball draft. I think we're talking about Cooper Flag being the guy next year. This was the Caleb Williams of that. If he were basketball, he was that guy. Like he's
Yep.
the guy that it's like everybody needs to get him. Like
Yep.
he's the guy.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, here, as we're getting ready to wrap up the show, and once again, this is Rico and Mac Troop about Chicago sports and Bears Bengals preseason post game recap. Shout out to Tory Taylor, who man got a lot of Bears got a lot of flack for drafting this kid in the fourth round. But wow, I
Hmm.
don't know if I maybe only real fans were watching, real football pundits, but them punts were
Yeah.
deadly and
Yeah.
accurate. That he is a weapon, Rico.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tory Taylor, mark my words. That kid is a weapon. And with a defense like we've got, and with a kid that can do ball placement like that as a punter,
Yep.
especially in those nasty conditions in Soldier Field.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow, Rico, there's something brewing here.
Well, we
Okay?
talked about it. When you flip the field like that, the defense, look, you already have an elite defense. So when you flip the field like that, and then you're
Woo!
talking about like the defense either generating a turnover or then getting it to Caleb Williams and he's starting at his 30 or at their 30
Woo!
25. Like we already just talked about how elusive Caleb Williams is and how dangerous the offense is. So just imagine if they're coming at you with a shortened field. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
He had a nice
man.
punt too inside the 20. That was very nice. And I think he punted for like 150 today. So yes, yes. I mean, the guy's got quite a leg, and I think that that is going to set up the defense. And flipping the field is something that a lot of people don't talk about. It's not sexy, but it is part of football, and it's a major part of football, especially if you play both sides.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my brother. Field position is key. So once again, we got the Bears winning over the Cincinnati Bengals 27-3 at home. Caleb Williams preseason home debut. It was beautiful. We got a chance for him to actually score his first NFL touchdown with his legs. Post game, he actually said that he wished he could have had did it with his arms. That just shows you the quarterback in him. This was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful game, a little rainy, but that's okay. Fans weathered through. Uh, and I'll tell you what a great way for this season to start, huh?
Oh yeah.
And even though these games don't count, wins are wins, and they're good for a young team, and they're good for a young team psyche. Uh, we're going to take this all day, every day. And much love to our beloved Chicago Bears for giving us another victory, victory day. So, me and Rico, tomorrow, Truth About Chicago Sports, Studio 14, WRMN 1410 AM in Elgin, Illinois, 12 to 1. We're going to get it in, brother. We're going to be go Bears. We're going to go Chicago Sky. We're going to talk a little baseball. Who knows? Maybe if we feel frisky, we might even throw in some of them sorry Bulls. But definitely, definitely, my bros.
No, don't do
Always
my
great
Bulls.
having you join.
Don't do my Bulls. Yeah, I appreciate it. Don't do my Bulls like that, man. I mean, it's tough right now in the off season. That
Yes.
schedule got released, man, and it's looking like but oh well.
Yeah.
I'm still believing. So
Yes, yes. But we're gonna chop it. We're gonna get into all that tomorrow. Definitely, once again, like I say, shout out to the Bears. Bears victory. Love it. Go Bears. This has been the Truth About Chicago Sports with Rico and Mac. WRMN 1410 AM. Let's go. Peace, everyone, and have a great day.
all right, peace, man. Peace.